Oh, 1 minus Fox 9, so they can have it Fox. I don't have a bow and arrow, so I borrowed my brother's. I just finished watching the latest season of Arrow, which I'll say, like, what is it? After, like, when I was starting to watch the DC shows, and also my Legends Tomorrow one, I don't think I actually ever uploaded, so I gotta freaking find that video. Hopefully I didn't delete it. But, after, like, the last season of Arrow with Damien Dark, I was like, fudge, Arrow is sucking. And, like, that was, like, the, like, kind of, like, the thing where I was like, I really wasn't that excited to watch Arrow. And the thing is, I liked Arrow. And, like, people say, like, they hated the first season or whatever. I actually really liked the season. Maybe it's because I wasn't, like, so, like, you know, like, I didn't know much about Green Arrow himself other than he appeared on Smallville. And also because of, what is it called? Smallville, but also because of, maybe some of the comics, not comics, the sometimes he shows on the Justice League or whatever. But other than that, I really didn't know much about Green Arrow. Most of Green Arrow I knew was from Smallville when that was out. So when the show actually started out and I started watching it, and Oliver just snaps a dude's neck in, like, the first episode, I'm like, holy fudge! I was like, sweet! Like, and the thing is, like, superheroes, I do prefer them not to kill. Specifically, Batman and Superman. Wonder Woman's in Amazon. They kill. But, Batman and Superman, I'd say, are, like, the two that should not kill. And the reason why being is because, one, Superman is a godlike being, and, like, he really doesn't have to kill, I think. And Batman, even though, yes, they have killed before in the past, but I'm saying the more recent incarnations don't kill. And even Batman now, and even, like, Batman, like, I say that he really shouldn't kill. It's kind of, one, it's kind of a thing that makes, it makes a character even scarier if you think about it. Someone who does not kill. Why? Because if you think about Batman's idea, and again, I'm a little slightly off topic, but if you think about Batman's code is, he has only one rule: not to kill. So he can maim you, torture you, cut you up, make you bleed out, and all that stuff, but he won't let you die. That is more terrifying than being killed, at least in my opinion. If he leaves you without limbs, on the ground, that is still not dead. He can leave you alive, and that's the thing. It's just like, that's kind of how I see it. You can be as effed up as you want and still not kill someone. In this one, though, Oliver does kill, and I was like, oh, fuck. We have a character who will go all the way to kill. And again, that is kind of like the separation between, you know, like sometimes a lot of times the only separation between a hero and a villain is if they kill or not. And again, Batman and Superman, I say those are the pinnacles of do not effing kill. DCU, the DC Cinematic Universe. But in any case, did I fly away from? Anyways, when I saw the first season, I actually really liked it, and this was also before I watched actually Spartacus, so I didn't know that Quixis was Slade Wilson in this. Until after I binge watched all Spartacus, then I rewatched Arrow. I think it was starting like season 2. I'm like, oh my god, it's Quixis! But Arrow was a show that I actually really liked, and as the series going on, it was still pretty good. As he slowly started building his team, it spawned the Arrowverse. It was awesome. But after a bit, like, I saw where they were kind of trying to go. They were trying to make him a little bit lighthearted more. Mostly he was more of the grounded hero in quote-unquote reality, other than with superheroes and meta and stuff. But they started going a little bit more comic book, which I got was alright. But then, like, towards Damien Dark One, it was like, you can't kill Oliver, because, you know, it's kind of the Batman thing. But he did ever kill, and it always felt, I don't know, wrong, I guess, to me. And I don't mean that in a bad thing. Like, we start off with him killing, and it just felt wrong for this show. Like, The Flash, yeah, I can see him going for the whole not kill angle. He's a more lighthearted character. But this Oliver, yeah, he's not the one from the comics who is more lighthearted and stuff like that. This one is a darker Batman-ish one. Like, if anything, in this universe, if there isn't a Batman and Superman in this universe, though Rip Hunter does suggest that there will be a Batman and Superman in this universe. I've seen Men of Steel fall and Dark Knights rise again. That's freaking awesome line. But you see stuff like that. You see him like, it always just felt like, it's like, I don't know. Especially last season where it felt kind of, like, it just felt kind of bad altogether. Like, even Damien Dark didn't feel like a good villain for Arrow to fight. And it just took me kind of out of it. And especially since the episode where the Flash zooms in and basically beats up some of Damien Dark's men and zooms out. Or no, he saves them right before Damien Dark kills them. And I'm just thinking, you know, if you would have said, hey, Barry, I know you asked me to do this real quick, but just a quick thing. Can you run back there, go knock that guy out, drag him all the way to Lian and throw him in a cell for real quick? It'll take you about maybe 10 minutes. Do you think you could do that for me, and then we could deal with your problem? Because, you know, we kind of need to get this all solved. Like, that one could have been easily dealt with just calling Barry Allen, and boom. Last season would have been easily fixed and done. And, like, they would have finished that, like, in the first episode. Or at least the episode where Flash runs in. But, this season, however, works a lot better. And this one fits more, like, this one fits more in the end with, like, this is kind of a new start for it. Basically, there's a new villain called Prometheus. And, he's here to destroy Oliver. And, but he's a mystery. He's a guy wrapped in mystery stuff like that. And Arrow doesn't have his team. Hold on. I'm recording a video. Sorry, but Arrow doesn't have his team because his team went all separate ways because the last time. So now he has to make a new team, a lot of new superheroes. Well, the guy from last time, the gay guy, I'm sorry if that's the black gay guy from last time, he's actually Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic, which I thought, wow, that is a stupid name for a superhero. Why would they name him, or Mr. Terrific? And like, why would they name him something like that on his, on this show? Like out of all the superheroes, they might get him like that. It turns out it's because he's actually a superhero that's in the comics. Like, oh! Then they have other characters coming in, like Artemis, who, at one point, is that one character from Young Justice, who was also a bad guy. He's the daughter of a bad guy. Then you also have Wild Dog. And I'm like, that's a stupid name too. Looked it up. He's an actual villain. He's an actual hero too. Like an older one. And I'm like, oh! And like, they're basically pulling like a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of with these characters. Like characters who no one would remember, or almost no one would remember. And like Eric coming out and I'm like, oh, you know what? That's pretty cool. And then like Ragman, which I first saw his mask in Legends of Tomorrow when Damien Dark had all the masks of all the heroes. And I'm like, is that Scarecrow? No, it's Ragman, a guy who's dressed in Jewish rags that have the souls of those people from, I believe, the Holocaust? And he is actually like a third generation superhero, so he's actually a legacy hero. And then what was it? Not Star. You see, and basically they team up and make their own thing. Oliver gives them a hard time at first, but then starts letting them in. And even then they try to get a new Black Canary too, an actual metahuman who has that same ability, who actually in the comics was the first Black Canary. Then also Black Siren is here, which finally that comes into play, who was the Black Canary on Earth too, but was evil. And all this stuff happening along with Prometheus coming in. A Canary who basically fights like Green Arrow, who's kind of like the Dark Archer, who's kind of like the Malcolm Merlin thing, where this feels more like a villain for Green Arrow to face. This guy is strategizing. He's one step ahead of everything. And also, he's also screwing with Oliver's day job as the mayor of Star City. And you have all this crud going along. There's these twists going on, things happening, so like those, some twists and things happen, happen and then just kind of end all together. Like, at one point, a character, is killed that was kind of having a important part of someone else's life, but then like after like 2 episodes, it's not really brought up again, or like the character who was with that person never really like shows anything towards it other than like, okay, we have to kill Prometheus or whatever. And like I'm okay with that since like, you know, in other we've seen things similar to that before where where a hero accidentally kills another character. It's like, oh no. And yeah, in this season, Oliver does kill. He kills whenever he quote unquote has to, which I'm like, alright, you know what, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty that at least adds a little more like it separates it. It's kinda like the opposite of what it's kind of what the DCU should do for Superman, but the opposite. It's like, okay, Green Arrow was dark and gritty, kind of, so we're going to make him a little bit more lighthearted. Oh crap, that's not really working. Let's go back to making him dark and keeping Barry the lighthearted one. And that's what they're kind of doing in this one. And again, the DC Cinematic Universe should do the exact opposite of Superman. They started dark, you see it's not working, so bring it up again. Make him lighter, a happier character. Don't make him just a superpowered Batman. And so Oliver is like more street level and stuff like that again. He's fighting these other bad guys, but also, you know, he has to try to find Prometheus. He's trying to track him down, and turns out Prometheus might actually be working for him and all this stuff. It's a really good, and even like the season finale. And then while all this is going on, you see the backstory of Oliver, like the last backstory, I guess, where you see Oliver fighting, going through Russia, trying to kill this one Russian mob boss, and he has to join the Brats, who is like a mafia gang that one Russian guy from the island is on, or island, the guy from the island, he was there. They start going through all this stuff with him, like being like basically learning to become the Hood, using the Hood as like an excuse, saying that he's not a monster if he wears the Hood and kills people while wearing the Hood. And like he started even going real dark at one point, torturing a man, and then after the man tells him what he wants to, continues to fillet his skin off, or just, it's just like so dang dark. And basically the whole point is like, why is Prometheus doing this? Prometheus keeps telling him that he has to show him who he is, and it turns out it's because there's some connection with the past that happened in season 1 that happened, and like it all leads back to like season 1, like it being season 1 being like the darkest season, and now this one being the darkest season. So it's like they rebooted everything a little bit. Like, okay, we had everything all happy-go-lucky a little bit. We're making everything a little bit happier, but we're going back to it being darker. And this season really works. The villain feels like it should be the Green Arrow's villain. It's a grounded level character, so it feels better than the guy who wields magic, which a lot of times I think Arrow should have been able to kill a couple times already. But it didn't feel like that stupid for some of that bit. You have like new villains rising that are created from other guys. You have the whole thing with Renee Wild Dog, who I first thought like, man, this guy is like this guy is kind of dumb, and I feel like, and like he's like so reckless. Like at one point, it's like Oliver tells him like multiple times, "Stay here," but he'll always run in and go shoot him. Like, dude, you gotta tell him something. You just gotta tell him something. Come on now, this is like bad teamwork all around. Then there's a whole point where they find out that Oliver used to kill people. Ooh, and the thing is, not saying undercutting like someone killing someone else, no, but I'm just saying more in the sense of, one, these guys all Wild Dog uses guns. Diggle uses guns. I think at one point they said that they used trank bullets. I don't think they use trank bullets. At one point I think there's a quick line slip that says, "We don't have our trank bullets." I'm like, you have trank bullets. You were using solid lead. You were killing people. Don't try to pull this bull crap on us. God damn. And there's the whole thing with Felicity getting in with a hacktivist group that's basically kind of anonymous or whatever. Helix, I'm pretty sure that's actually from the comics too. But yeah, it is just this season is probably one of the best ones, and even the season finale. The season finale itself, unlike the Flash one where it kind of came out of freaking nowhere, it makes no goddamn sense. Like, wait, without the speedster. Wait, but the Speed Force, did it always have a speedster there? Did it not? It made no goddamn sense. This one, the season finale, does make sense. And it leaves it on a great cliffhanger of what the fuck. And even at the ending, the season finale, where basically Oliver has to bring together some of his worst villains to fight these bad guys, such as Slade Wilson, who comes back. And I'm just like, fudge yes! I was so happy to see Slade Wilson back. Like, you see him once, like, in, like, not a flashback, like, a thing that they were messing with their memory thing, where it was, like, the invasion episode or whatever. And that was, but you never saw, like, Quicks, the guy who plays Quixus. But you see him now, he's like, fudge yes! I was, like, so happy to see him. Because Slade is probably one of my favorite villains in the Arrowverse. And that was just pretty awesome. Crap. This season, like, if you didn't like Damien Dark's season, like, you kind of just totally winged off the show, I would definitely say check this one out. This one is 10 times better than that one was. The villain fits so much more. It has a darker tone, but it still works. And it is just so freaking good. And also, a good way to show, like, that, like, the character, at least of Oliver and, like, Barry, are so well done and are kind of the pinnacle of, like, a Batman-Superman dynamic, is that whenever those two actually do meet, you can you tell, like, Barry's the lighthearted, kind one. Oliver is the guy who put an arrow in your leg, which he does to multiple people, and at one point he even takes a couple arrows to his chest by someone else, but, like, when that happened too, like he got, like, arrows put in his chest, but you never see where the holes are. So it's like, oh, I guess that one didn't leave any scars. But, yeah, if you haven't checked out that's this season of Arrow yet, go check it out. If you have Netflix, go check it out. It is so good. It's out of... The thing is, like, last season, that Flash had, like, the better season. It was a funner, better... It was the better season compared to Arrow and the Flash. DC Legends Tomorrow, it started on a rocky start, but it's kind of starting to smooth out a bit more. But this one is the opposite with the Flash and Arrow. The Flash one felt like a bummer and a letdown. Even though I loved the villain in the Flash season, it wasn't all that great. And then the Green Arrow one, Prometheus, just fit way more. And, like, the season picked up, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And in the end, it's just freaking awesome. And it's just so good. But, I guess that's my thoughts on this. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Watch movies that I done. Links are on my face. Subscription buttons are around there somewhere. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you later. You have failed this shit. Well, you have not failed this season, but you have Flash.